this edition of Positive Profiles, we focus on reform. We focus on reforming the heart and the mind. And here to chat with us, I have Troy Inniss.
Yes.
Good to have you, Troy.
Thank you.
I've heard from a little bird that you've spent quite some time dealing with prison fellowship. So you've been in the prisons and looking at not only worship but fellowship with inmates. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, when you look at the type of, when you look at what I do, it is a little more than just going in and speaking to these guys and trying to, create an outlet for them, to see the world a little differently. The gospel, as far as I'm concerned, is the only instrument on the face of the earth that can transform the life of a man. And the church is the only one who have all the success stories when it comes to that. The gospel has transferred men's lives from being on drugs, all types of negative things in their lives. The gospel came in and transformed their lives completely. Therefore, they are no longer the same person. And they have gone out into society and have been, working in society, being productive in society, and actually spreading what they themselves caught. You understand me? In the gospel, and spreading it, and they themselves become an outlet to help others as time go on.
How long have you been a part of prison fellowship?
Oh, well, it started back in, I think it was 2012. I was going in with the Teen Challenge under Michael Grimes. We used to go in and, just see what the guys needed, talk with them, share the love of Christ actually with them, share the actual gospel, and we've seen some success over the years.
Now, you mentioned before we were on camera that at one point you weren't getting the inmates to come to you, maybe to the chapel or to the classroom, because I understand you teach as well. So you decided to go in with the inmates?
Yes. Actually, that was the brainchild of Zacchaeus Edwards of New Life Ministry. He just recognized that, the guys weren't coming to the chapel. You understand? Because normally what happens is that when you go into the system and you, quote unquote, having church, there's a chapel and, they invite other inmates to come, if they want to, participate in church. So, yes, there were guys coming, but we were seeing the same guys over and over and over and over. And therefore, I think Zacchaeus took the bull by the horn and decided, well, listen, if they're not coming to us, then we'll go to them. And that door opened, and twice a week now, we're in there over 2 hours, locked up with the guys, where they sleep, eat, whatever, bathe, and we actually share only the gospel.
Paint a picture for me. We are in the cell blocks with those who are in prison, and we have a varying number of personalities, as we have on the outside.
Yes.
How do we reach them, and what has been the kind of challenge that dynamic has brought you?
Well, I think our major hurdle is that we recognize that, actually it shocked me that we could be in Barbados in 2024 and we have guys in prison who can't read, who can't write, guys who have never ever been into a church in their entire lives, not even for a wedding or funeral. So we have young people who are devoid of the gospel. They don't know anything about church. They don't know anything. So we find ourselves having to build from the ground up. I usually tell them, listen, there's some information that you missed when you were young. And if you miss that information, what is going to happen is that you're building on a foundation that is not good. I usually tell them it's a foundation built without steel.
Like sand.
Yes. And what happened is that you find that these guys, when you tell them it that way, then they start to listen. And you let them know, okay, case in point, if you were in kindergarten and primary school and you never learn how to form your letters and get words, then you would find yourself not being able later on in life to be able to write and so on and so forth. So you had missed information back then. Once you get that information, you're going to realize that life is going to accelerate. So from the time you get that information, then all the pieces start to fall in place. So we explained to them the gospel is the same thing. You were supposed to be exposed to the gospel when you were a child. And we explained to them that, we sing the national anthem. But the second stanza is more important than the first. It says the Lord has been the people's guide. You see, and I said, well, okay, if that is part and parcel of Barbados, that means then you should know who the Lord is. And that is from that foundation, then we go in, and a lot of them want to hear what we have to say because we don't go in to preach religion. We go strictly with the gospel.
The gospel, yeah. According to Christ.
There you go.
Can you share with us one of those success stories briefly?
There. We have a young man. He was in and out of prison for quite some years, and he made a decision that he did not want to come back. And that particular morning, he was going to be released during the week, and he asked us, he wants us to pray for him that he don't ever return. So we explained to him, listen, there's only one way that you would leave here and never return. And therefore, you need Christ. And, I think he was convinced because over the time we watched him, he was there all the time. So he asked us to lay hands on him and pray for him. And that is exactly what we did. We laid hands on him, prayed for him. And to date, that guy, he left Dodds. He's out there. He's an evangelist himself. He's involved in church. The first time I saw him again, it was at the People's Cathedral. And he was telling everybody, he's the reason why I'm here. And it really isn't me. It is the gospel. It is Christ who came in and transformed his life. So he's now a totally different person. You understand me? And he's out there just doing what God called him to do. He told me, that he got married and, a child on the way and all that type of stuff. So, I mean, that is just one. But there are quite a few guys who we see, you understand, and they usually tell us, what is going on in their lives. So, it is basically just making sure that they have the missing pieces that they should have had a long time ago.
What kind of impact do you think, furnishing inmates with these missing pieces have on their lives from your perspective?
Well, as soon as you open them up to what is truth, therefore, we start to break down a lot of these things that they heard that I consider lies. And when I say lies, not that it is void of truth, but it is not the only truth. Therefore, they heard that once you get this education, that everything is going to be hunky-dory. That too. When I tell them that too, is really a lie. You understand me? I say you need instruments in your life that when things go wrong, what to do. And I said, well, these are the things that we furnish them with. The things that when things go wrong. You see, everything is good when life is going good. You understand me? You can be an upstanding citizen when life is going good. But picture now things go wrong. Although you did everything, all the checkpoints, you know, you got a good education, you understand me, you got a good job, and all these things, and then something goes wrong. What do you do then? You see, those missing pieces are the pieces that we give to them, because the church is the only one who possesses those missing pieces. You understand me? Some people believe that the church isn't doing anything, but we don't go on the mountaintop and shout out and this and that and want to be in the paper shaking hands with people. We don't do that. That's not the church. The church does its job, and we do it well, and we are constantly in there just ministering not only to young people in the prisons but in the communities. And therefore, when we go in, because we know what we have, they need, what happens is that from the time we begin to speak, you see, because once you begin to share the gospel, folk will listen. If I had to stand up right now and start to declare the gospel right here, I am sure that you would start to see people just starting to listen. You see, because they've heard a lot of things over the years, and a lot of these things are more religious than anything else. Come and join this, come and, you understand me? But the gospel isn't come and join. The gospel is just simply that Christ will come into your life and you will become a new creation. And therefore, life is going to look different. Even though things go wrong, life is going to be so different that you're going to be able to overcome these challenges because Christ is in your life.
And that is a strong conviction.
Yes.
Troy, Inniss, our time is too short.
Yes.
I wish we could actually chat a little bit more, but it's been a pleasure gaining a lot of insight from you, from your experience, and also feeling that inspiration continue to do a good work and a good deed.
Yes, thank you. All right.
You've been watching Positive Profiles. Here's hoping that that inspiration reaches you where you need it most. I'm Kimberly Skeet.